I promised that I'd be as transparent as possible and as honest and raw as possible. So today I just wanted to talk about losing my father, an absent father, and how I've dealt with the trauma of trying to forgive somebody that has already moved to a different realm, or just basically trying to move on from the whole thing. Hi there, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Don't even dare watch my content without subscribing, because that is how Judas did Jesus. He betrayed him, so you better subscribe, okay? Please. And don't forget to like, to comment, to share, and just tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend who is a friend that has a friend to subscribe. Thank you.
What the hell?
Let's get into this video. I'm not in such a happy mood, but it is what it is. So today I am not speaking about anything that's jolly. I'm not making a video for fun. I'm actually speaking about something very sensitive. I'm speaking about grief. I'm speaking about loss. And I'm speaking about forgiveness. So about 3 years ago, on this exact date, I lost my father. Now, my father and I didn't have the relationship that every daughter wishes to have with her father. I was always this bowel kind with my father. I was always wishing I had a better dad, or I was always wishing that my father was like so-and-so's father. And I practically had a very sad childhood. I actually had migraines from when I was 9, and we went from doctor to doctor. My mother was very depressed. We went from doctor to doctor trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And initially they concluded that it was the migraines was a result of stress. Now you can imagine, or you wonder what stress a 9-year-old would have. And as I grew older, I actually realized that it's all the sadness and all the stress I've been keeping, because I've always wondered how my life would have turned out had my father loved me, or had my father been there for me. So I decided to write a letter. I'm a writer. I write a lot. So my mom, we thought of sort of like started trying to figure out then how do we stop the migraines, or because I'm a talker. My friends will tell you that I talk a lot, but I don't particularly talk about things that hurt me. I just joke around. I'm very funny. I'm very jolly. So nobody really knows the side of me, and this is why it's a bit difficult to express myself, or I've always found it difficult to express myself. So I decided to write a letter for my father, and it's just summing up what I feel and how I wish things would have turned out differently, but now that they're not what they are, or because we no longer have a chance at rebuilding our relationship. Just basically what my thoughts are. Now, I have a message for anyone that has lost a parent, or anyone that is not in good terms with their parent. I just want to say that life is very short-lived, and trust me, believe you me, you're gonna have that regret, or you're gonna wonder what you would have done differently. You're gonna hope your parent was there so you guys can sort of just make the relationship work. You're gonna wonder how different things would have turned out, and that is not what you want. So I would encourage that you just talk things through, that you try to find a solution. And we're human beings. If you guys don't come to an alternative that works for the both of you, just sort of try to find a solution to work around the whole situation. What I'm basically trying to say is that try to be on good terms with your parents. Like, you don't have to be on the best of terms. Just let them know you love them and they love you, and that's it. Because what I've had to deal with over the years is regret of I should have just been with because my father had cancer for 22 years, mind you, and I'm 22. So basically my father had cancer before I was born, and I didn't even know this. I found this out at his funeral. People were, the lady that is it still a master of ceremonies if it's a funeral? Yes, but the mistress of ceremonies was reading his eulogy, and they were speaking about how he's had to endure so much in the years he's lived and all that, and I was very shook. I actually cried quite a lot because I was in utter shock of how he went through so much, and I had no idea. I just was living my life and feeling like this guy wasn't there for me. So I was really shook that he actually went through this much, and I had no idea in my entire years of existence. Yes, I did find out he had cancer when I was like maybe grade 10, but I didn't know like he's had this cancer for the longest. And I saw him go to chemo. I saw him have his leg so swollen, and there was nothing the doctors could do because he had earlier refused to let it get amputated because of pride and the stigma of being disabled. So that is why he refused to cut the leg. So I just really am hurt that I didn't get to have a relationship with this person who was going through so much, because for someone that preaches kindness and someone that preaches forgiveness and living life with the best of intentions and with a pure heart, I feel like I've failed myself. I feel like I've failed society. I feel like I've failed as a writer, because you cannot preach something you're not, and it hurts me that I didn't get to live my life it hurts me that I didn't live my life the way I was supposed to, or I didn't leave my words out. So the letter reads as follows. A letter to my father. I had promised not to cry at your funeral because I had no business mourning a stranger. I was angry more than I was melancholic. I couldn't stomach the thought that you bid the world farewell without being half the dead I daydreamed you would be. Your eulogy was perfectly put together that I almost didn't recognize who was being referred to. The past 2.5 years have been nothing but a roller coaster of emotions. I've had perfectly normal days turn into breaking down bathroom stops. So many questions but not a single answer. August this year has particularly been the hardest for me. I kept wondering if I ever crossed your mind on your deathbed. Did you pray? If yes, was it forgiveness or healing you asked for? Did you wish things had turned out differently, or were you content with the life you lived? Staring in the mirror, and there's a big smile on my face. Then suddenly my short teeth remind me of the person you were. I hate that every feature I love is that which resembles you. I hate that people see you when they see me, even after I've tried to distance myself from who you were. Do I hate you? Do I love you? I hate to admit that the only reason I have so many questions and so much frustration is because I loved you. And I still do. I ask myself, how late is too late to forgive? Maybe you weren't the father I had wanted you to be, but you were the father my younger siblings needed. You were the uncle who slaughtered the goat and invited the neighbors, the warm-hearted and generous friend. You were the kind stranger, the man who at some point melted my mother's heart with sweet nothings. I may not have experienced you in the ways others may, but I'm glad they saw a kinder and better you. If you know God, it's heaven's game. If I know God, we'll meet again. But until then, I love you, Tate.